We've got a player and a coach now that have two completely separate belief sets. And look, Stephanie White was angry when she made those comments. So you can bet one thing, I'm going to be watching and paying attention to Sophie Cunningham's minutes. If she all of a sudden has a reduction in minutes playing.
The WNBA is suddenly facing a massive controversy, and reports of leaked audio are raising serious questions about what may really be happening behind the scenes. While fans have been shown an image of peace and unity inside the league, the latest claims suggest the situation could be far more heated than anyone expected. What started as another WNBA rivalry now appears to have turned into a much bigger story, with a reported confrontation inside the Indiana Fever organization threatening to create serious divisions within the franchise. At the center of this storm is Sophie Cunningham, who is being portrayed as someone willing to say and do what others would not, reportedly pushing head coach Stephanie White to the edge while also fueling anger from one of the biggest stars in women's basketball. Caitlin Clark was reportedly furious, demanding to know why she was constantly being targeted and why Cunningham had suddenly become a focus of the conflict. Before we break down all the details, this is Pulse Hoop, bringing you the latest WNBA breaking news, player updates, and the biggest stories from around the league. Make sure to subscribe to Pulse Hoop so you never miss the biggest WNBA stories and updates. The situation reportedly grew so quickly that even the White House administration was said to have taken notice, turning what began as an alleged internal dispute into a story that attracted nationwide attention. So settle in, because the decisions surrounding Stephanie White are being described as one of the biggest mistakes in women's basketball history. To understand how this reported tension began, we need to look at...
Sophie Cunningham says, the article says, you say she's a MAGA Barbie. As some corners of the internet have taken to calling her. Projection, she says, because of what she looks like and where she's from. She'll weigh in on how to, quote, protect women's sports, she says, because she's in that world and feels qualified to speak to that world. Quote, I got a lot of negative feedback about me hating trans, and I'm like, I never once said that, she says. I think that I'm here to extend love, but I also think with that love is truth, being honest. And I want to protect young girls in the locker room or young girls in sport who shouldn't have to go against biological men. Now, prior to yesterday's game, the Indiana Fever media, they flooded Sophie Cunningham. Apologize, Sophie, apologize! How dare you! And then Sophie Cunningham says,
in that story with ESPN, you talked about wanting to protect young girls who shouldn't have to go against biological men. Just can you expand your viewpoint on that?
I mean, I think I said what I said. I think it's kind of common sense. And I think I'll always believe in that. I think it's really important to protect.
The online world exploded instantly, with countless supporters rallying behind her fearless refusal to accept the usual polished corporate messaging. However, while the public praised her boldness, the mood inside Indiana's executive offices became increasingly dark and hostile. Management wanted players to follow their carefully prepared public relations scripts, leading the head coach to decide that Cunningham needed to be silenced as a serious warning to others. Rather than supporting her player and protecting team unity, Stephanie White buckled under the intense pressure, committing the ultimate betrayal of trust. Insider leaks claim that she did not simply disagree with her guard. She actively launched hard.
And so I stand on what I said, and I always believe that.
Yeah. Do you see your advocacy on that, like taking any form going forward?
You know, I don't know. I'm not a very political person, but I do have beliefs. I have morals, and I'll always stand on those and be true to who I am. And I think people are going to take it how they want to take it, but I've never even really said anything about that. And so when it comes just to protecting young girls in sport and women in sport, I feel very strongly about that. I think that's why you have Title IX. That's why you have some of the greats in women's sports. If Title IX and women's sports weren't protected, then you wouldn't hear about any type of women in sport. And so I think in the future, it's just really important to protect.
Do you think, I guess, along the line like that, it goes against perhaps, some people might say, hey, for the trans community, this could be something that could come back on us or be targeted against us. Like, how do you, I guess, view that sort of critique?
You know, like I said, I extend love, and I don't dislike.
Behind closed doors, the veteran guard was hit with completely baseless accusations, along with threats of long suspensions, the sudden loss of her starting role, and permanent removal from the team's game plan. This was a ruthless and calculated attempt to intimidate every other player on the roster. The message was obvious: challenge the approved beliefs, and your career could be destroyed. The head coach mistakenly believed she could carry out this harsh punishment without anyone finding out, forcing the entire team to obey like silent followers. Unfortunately for her, she completely overlooked the fact that the whole country was already watching their every move, and she badly underestimated the fierce loyalty of the sport's biggest star.
It's just to protecting young girls in sport and women in sport. I feel very strongly about that. I think that's why you have Title IX. That's why you have some of the greats in women's sports. If Title IX and women's sports weren't protected, then you wouldn't hear about any type of women in sport. And so...
Damn. Sophie, I said what I said. Whoa. You know they were hoping that Sophie Cunningham would apologize, would walk back all of her words that came out in that article. You were hoping. Sophie Cunningham played 7 minutes in the first half after doubling down on what she said. Folks, I don't remember Sophie Cunningham playing 7 minutes in the first half all season long in the game that she played it. But then after that, you have the Indiana Fever putting out a statement. Our players are thoughtful adults with their own perspectives and voices, and those views are their own. We are committed to welcoming fans from every background and treating everyone with respect.
Before the harsh punishments could officially begin, something truly unexpected happened, pushing the dispute to an entirely different level. A huge wave of cultural and political support spread across the country when the nation's highest office suddenly stepped into the discussion and backed the controversial statements. By appearing to support the targeted player, the executive branch completely weakened the smear campaign that management was reportedly trying to build against her. Imagine being a leader trying to push your own player aside simply for speaking her beliefs, only to find the presidential administration and the American public strongly standing behind her. White was now completely exposed.
I said what I said, Cunningham told reporters. But rather than me just saying that, let's hear from Sophie Cunningham herself. Listen to what she had to say.
Talked about wanting to protect young girls who shouldn't have to go against biological men. Just can you expand your viewpoint on that?
I mean, I think I said what I said. I think it's kind of common sense. And I think I'll always believe in that. I think it's really important to protect children. And that's little girls who are also involved in that category. And so I stand on what I said, and I always believe that.
I stand with Sophie Cunningham. I stand with Riley Gaines. I stand with them both. I have 2 daughters. They don't participate in sports, but if they did, that would be my position. And I think it's important to emphasize what Sophie Cunningham said a bit further. She said, I think I'll always believe that. I think it's really important to protect children and that little girls who are also involved in that category. So I stand on what I said, and I will always believe that. She claims she's not a political person, but she does have morals and beliefs, and she will always stay true to them. When asked if her stance could negatively impact the trans community, Cunningham said she's not speaking out of hate. She doesn't dislike anyone. She says, quote, I think there is room for absolutely everyone here, and I think there's room to love everyone. I truly think when you get people in the same room and you have conversations, you actually have a lot in common with a lot of people. I'm there to love, but I'm also there to love biological women, and I think that there are rights that need to be protected. And like I said, I'm going to stand true to that. I'll never falter in my beliefs in that, but I have never once said I hated the trans community. Like I said.
Predictably, the organization's communications team fell into complete panic, quickly putting together a messy, desperate retraction to limit the damage. But the damage was already done. All coaching authority disappeared instantly. Team trust completely collapsed. And during that exact moment of chaos, Clark finally released all the anger she had been holding inside. Music, The rookie star had quietly endured non-stop mistreatment throughout the entire season, taking brutal physical fouls, music, dealing with deeply bitter media comments from jealous veterans, and playing through a staff that repeatedly pushed her aside on offense.
Sneakers on today. Before we start with questions, I just want to address, what's going on with AT. I think first and foremost, it's to protect our players. We've got to continue to support our players in our league. We get to play a basketball game. And AT was exactly right. Like, we get to play a basketball game. And yes, that's going to come with criticism. Yes, that's going to come with fans and the love-hate relationship that they have with players and teams. That is going to come. But it's not hard to not be a jerk. And if you are one of these people that are online doing this, do not call yourself a WNBA fan. Our league is about inclusiveness. Our league
is about inclusiveness.
Do not call yourself a WNBA fan. Our league is about inclusiveness. Our league is about competition.
Our league is about competition.
Our league is about elevating.
Our league is about elevating.
Elevating women.
Elevating women.
Elevating marginalized communities.
Elevating marginalized communities.
Including and being inclusive of all different walks of life.
Being inclusive of all different walks of life.
That is what our league has always been about from day one. That is what our league will continue to be about. And we will continue to compete at a high level, hold ourselves to a higher standard, continue to be on the forefront of social norms, and we will continue to support one another collectively as a league. Players, coaches, staff, support staff, everyone. We're about elevating. We are not about demeaning, demanding. We are not about continuing.
The secret recording from the locker room remains deeply disturbing, as the rookie completely shattered her superior's authority. Witnesses described how she forcefully slammed her locker shut and went completely off, her voice shaking the walls as she confronted the constant attempts to hold back her own potential before turning her attention to the attack against her teammate. Declaring that the psychological warfare had to end immediately, she openly revealed the deep jealousy and internal sabotage that had reportedly damaged the organization for months. By forming an unbreakable bond with the veteran under attack, she led an unprecedented revolt against the coaching staff. Music, the message to the front office was impossible to miss. Punishing one player would mean risking the suspension of the association's main financial force at the same time.
Was fired for sexual harassment. Brianna Turner made us all aware of that earlier this morning, late last night. Indiana Fever put out a statement about that. Quote, protecting our players and employees and maintaining a respectful, professional workplace is our top priority. Our policy is to take concerns seriously, investigate thoroughly, and act promptly when appropriate to protect the people in our organization and ensure everyone is treated with professionalism and respect. Fostering trust and safety in that process means we do not comment on personnel matters involving former employees. Now, I'm not sure what people were expecting the Indiana Fever to say. I guess they wanted names. They wanted allegations. Now, this is the thing. If we get a name on who allegedly was getting harassed, well, then the person who was doing the harassing now will feel inclined to speak up and give their side of the story. And the truth lies somewhere in the middle. There's one side, there's another side, and then there's the truth. So what Brianna Turner has done, she's opened up a whole can of worms. Because I'm seeing people speculate, oh, it was this person, oh, it was that person. Well, this person or that person comes forward and says, I was the one that got da-da-da-da-da, and these were and this is what happened to me, and da-da-da-da-da. Well, that person that did it will probably have to feel emboldened to protect their name. Interesting. The Indiana Fever responded quite quickly to the Sophie Cunningham. They responded within 24 hours to the Sophie Cunningham statement, and they responded within 12 hours to the Brianna Turner statement.
Right now, the Indiana organization looks more like a battlefield than a professional sports team, with the rookie star leading the charge. With federal involvement, a veteran player refusing to back down, and a superstar openly challenging management, the pressure to find a solution is growing by the minute. The biggest question now falls directly on the association. Will the ownership group finally take action and fire the head coach to save the organization's future? Or will this internal battle destroy their championship hopes just before the postseason? I want to hear your honest, unfiltered thoughts on this major controversy. Share your opinion in the comments below. If you support this powerful player alliance, hit the like button, subscribe for more inside stories, and I will see you in the next breakdown.